Say panel one is a close-up of a hand stirring a can of chili on a fire outside. Okay? So the problem is you have to figure out, well, how do I do that? There's so many challenges on this page. That's crap. But you're produced with this challenge. First of all, how do I draw a can of chili? You know, what is involved there? Well, there's also a lid usually. It can be jagged, like he just tore it off himself. And then what does wood look like? You know, on a fire. How does it burn? And then hands are tough to draw. You know. So, and how I draw a hand in this position. These are all challenges that every panel is going to produce. And that's just panel one. Okay? This is why so many people don't do it, because they say, oh, I'm not going to be able to do that. You will. Just take your time. Because art is not a contest. Art is just yourself. What's your name? Andrea. No one can do Andrea art better than Andrea. Know it. No one can. You are expressing yourself. And that's why I like, even though comics are harder for me, I get more pride out of it than voice acting, though I love voice acting. Because it's my own expression, it is my own accomplishments, it is my own self, and it's presenting me. So when you're presenting yourself, nobody can present yourself better. Even when page one, which may look like crap, no one can produce it better than you. Okay? Any questions? Hi. You're late. You have to sit up at the front right here. For those of you just coming in, my name is Sonny Strait. I'm a voice actor and also a manga artist. Hey, could y'all close that door back there? We don't have a microphone in here, and oh, maybe we do. Wait, never mind. Hello, hello, hello. Oh, come on. You're not plugged in. That helps. That's good. Testing. One of us working, right? Hello? Can y'all hear that? No? Testing.
Testing, 1, 2, 3, 4. Testing! You are testing me, patience.
Okay. All right. We tried, right? As I said, I'm fielding questions on voice acting or manga illustration, voice actor directing.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Also writing. Any of you have any aspirations to be writers? Writers for anime. Writing for anime is a little bit different than writing a script for anyone else. In some ways it's easier, and in some ways it's much more difficult. The ways it's easier is that you don't have to come up with a plot, because it's already been written. There's a solid plot written by some great Japanese brilliant people, and you just have to, what? You have to make it sound palatable to English-speaking ears, okay? But you also have the challenge of mouth flaps, and you have to match those mouth flaps. It helps to be a voice actor when you're writing. That's why so many voice actors also write the dubs, because they know how to match those flaps, and they also kind of have an idea of how these characters would sound, you know, because they're listening to the original Japanese, and they get an interpretation, and they can figure out how to translate that. So that's one of the challenges that you have. But as far as writing a plot, I guarantee you most of the anime writers, dub writers, couldn't write a plot if they had to, if their life depended on it, because that's a completely different animal. What else is involved in it? It's actually one of the better paying jobs too. I think you can actually make more on a regular basis as a writer than you can for anything else. And only because Whereas acting may pay $50 to $100 an hour, you may only get 2 hours that week or 3 hours that week. But as a writer, you could be working every week, you know, and you get paid. I think the standard is pretty much $800 a script. And if you can do 2 scripts a week, you're doing okay. And that's why I am an actor, writer, director, and comic book artist, because I got a wife and daughter at home, just like yous, and I got to support my family. So, any more questions we have back here? Yes?
How do you go about getting started into being like a translator writer? Like, where do you go?
Well, you got to go where just like as a voice actor, you have to go where the business is, right? Although I bet you, and it's such a new industry, so there's no real rules to it. But if you actually took your time to translate something yourself, you know, or took a rough translation that you find, there's a lot of fan subs out there which basically have a translation right there. They're not matching flaps, but if you took one of those and wrote your own script that matched the flaps and sounds fluid enough, and then sent that to, say, Funimation, I bet you could be seen, because they are looking for writers all the time. We just picked up 40 new shows. Those writers are going to be busy. Shows, yes. We have tons of shows now. So, and we have probably about 15 writers, but you know, we're going to need more. So yeah, that's what I would do this day if I was trying to be just a writer for anime. That's the way I would go. And technically, you could work from home, right? You know, and that's what I do. I work from home. It's a great way to first, it's a great way to not have to get dressed, and it's a great way to make a living. You know, you're at home, you can see your family more. Now they actually do. You have to also write the time code. Now the time code is a running code that we get on our films, our videos, DVDs, that show what time, what minute, and what second that mouth begins to open. Okay, so the running time code comes on there, and you're watching this mouth, and it opens. You have to stop, rewind, go frame by frame by frame until that mouth starts to open, and then find out what that time code is and record that time code. Okay. That you can't do on your own because you don't have that. But that's one of the part of the writing jobs. But now they've gone to splitting the job up, where one guy writes the time codes and another person will write the script itself. And they split the money down the middle. One person gets 400, and that person gets 400. And now what I've done is I've got my wife. She does the time codes, and I write the scripts. So yeah, so we work at home, you know, and she's got her office, I got my office, and we like everybody at our business, and so we get along well, and it works well. Although, you know, it helps to be able to do both, because when she started, she didn't have experience, and I did, so I had to be her editor for a while. But now she knows what she's doing. Any other questions? It is warm in here, or is it just because I ran across the bridge? Okay. The bridge did it. Any requests? You had a question back there.
Yeah, how well is Funimation doing as compared to other studios?
Apparently one of the only ones staying afloat. We have a lot of animation studios going down. And part of the problem, I hate to say it, is the fan subs. Because people, you think that we make money from being on television. We don't make money on television. Television is just an advertisement for our DVDs and other merchandise. We make our money from the merchandise, and the bulk of our money comes from the DVDs. Well, if people have already seen the show, why do they want to spend money on getting it again? And unfortunately, which to me it's cool, because I like seeing the original myself. So it's cool to see that, but unfortunately it's killing the industry. And Funimation stays afloat. We've been very fortunate that we tend to get shows that are have a high Q rating, you know. But I don't know how long it can last. Hopefully it can last for a long time. As I said, we just picked up tons of new shows, you know, where other companies are getting rid of their shows and going under, other companies. So Funimation's doing good. I feel very lucky that I'm at Funimation. Any other questions? Yes?
This